look, there I am in a previous one, right? It's not quite 2 years exactly, but in April of 2021, I was there in another stream with Owen. I was so fun. It was so fun. So he had let me he had I there, right? Look, and there, and I'm holding this very book, the Holy Bible, reading from it because I knew how much Owen cared that Christians actually engage with the text, right? I'd been watching his yes. I spent a long time listening to Owen when my stepfather was dying. This was actually quite significant. I in November, December 2020, I was at my mom's. You've seen me stream from her basement, right? I was at my mom's. My stepfather was...
You're always in basements.
I'm not in a basement now. I'm in a maid's room.
Cantiest basement.
True.
Mom's basement.
True. The cantiest basement. My mom's basement. I speak from the ground, yes. Right? That I was at my mom's, and it was hard, right? We were literally waiting for my stepfather to die. He'd been sick for some years and in a wheelchair and with a spinal leak and things like that. So it was not COVID, guys, but it was emergency. It was long. It was some weeks, and Owen kept me going, right? I would put his 3 or 4 hour streams on and walk. Right. I walked through suburbs in my mom's city that I'd never seen. I'd been in high school there, right? And I'd never seen these streets. Some of them had been built since I'd been there, right? But I walked and I walked and I walked, and I listened to him talk about the Tartaria stuff. I'm teaching a course right now on campus called Alt History that was inspired by the things that I heard Owen talking about. He talked about the flat earth. I did a post about that. He talked about Tartaria and the Alt History and the World Fairs and storytelling. Right? I knew how much Owen loved storytelling and scripts and understanding the place that we are in our scripts. So I was actually, I was delighted that when Milo, obviously we had to plan this behind the scenes, guys. When Milo invited me to come on this stream with him, with Owen, because Owen had me on his stream in September 2020, and I really enjoyed it. And we talked about Tolkien and storytelling and stuff. And so I was like, great, I want to talk with Owen more about mythology and storytelling and the way we find ourselves in stories, the way we script them, the way, we as Christians, knowing that Owen had talked a lot about, the meaning of Christianity. That winter, he was talking a lot about Christmas, and I was walking around, thinking about Christmas and time and the seasons, and you and I have done some episodes on that now, right? The Christmas dating and stuff like that. Yes. So I was just super duper. I'm monologuing, aren't I? Can I keep going? Is it okay?
It's ladies' stream.
Oh, right. I can monologue. Okay. Pigeon monologuing. Here we are. I was very excited when Milo asked me to be in this intervention with Owen. And of course it had to be 3 of us because look. When Owen is there talking to Milo and he's going, it's the 3. We're going to talk about the 3. And you can see in this moment that Milo has a plan. Right? And I also knew, because I'd watched Owen so much in learning about, my platform mate, right? Watched him talk. Yeah, I'd seen some of his Punked episodes, right? And I knew how good he was at, setting up these kinds of surprises, right? And you can see Milo in that moment. Like, we have a fun surprise for Owen. Here we are. We're going to talk about the Trinity, right? Because Owen had been talking a lot about the Trinity. We're going to talk about it, but it's not going to be obviously just me, because who am I? I'm girl, right? We're going to have, Dr. E. Michael Jones, esteemed Catholic writer. I think Nick Ox was doing the producing here, and so he made those titles, right? Nick is now in prison. Remember Nick in prison for January 6th.
Yes.
Right? We need to start a writing campaign so that he gets letters. There's some difficult. Anyway, off stream. Okay. So, they have E. Michael Jones, who you all know, I've done streams with, we put them on unauthorized. E. Michael Jones will talk to anybody. He has gone out there in the wild to talk to absolutely everybody who will have him on. And then he says, read my books, because they're door stoppers that are worth wrestling with. And of course, the reason he was in this stream, because he'd just been published the Logos book and, you know, gone deep into the philosophy and Hegel and stuff like that. It's not as theological as the stuff I do. My stuff is much more liturgical, devotional, prayer focused. E. Michael Jones's The Logos book is about the Logos. It's about the philosophical problem, much more so than what I do, right? So we have E. Michael Jones there, which was great, and then we have Patrick Coffin, who is an absolute. I mean, his catchphrase is "Be a saint." What else is there? He has been running his own streams and interviews for years now. I've been on his stream, and he just reran mine with him this past New Year's, because it was a merry conversation. Patrick was very, very important, because Patrick was the first. I mean, this is how brave this man is. The first to have Milo on his show after Diabolical came out. And Diabolical is, of course, I wrote I use forward or preface, the thing that goes at the front, for the book. Diabolical is Milo's expose on the clerical abuse problem, right? And again, it's like, this is, Owen has talked so much about that problem in Oswego, right? And Milo's written a book about why Francis has to die, because we need it. We can't have him resign again, although now Pope Benedict, may rest in peace, has passed. We have one pope again. Whatever, I don't know, I'm a medievalist. It's usual. We've had this problem before of double popes and 3 popes and schisms and councils and stuff like that. Just pray, all right? It's not new. 1 pope, 2 pope, 3 pope, 4.
Sorry, it all sounds like a children's song.
It kind of is, right? It's like, the guys, go work it out. I'm a girl. Catherine of Siena tried to intervene with these guys. Okay, she's a saint. Maybe I should be a saint and keep intervening with them. But Patrick has done so much work in his interviews. He interviews people all the time who've been going through the lawsuits for the abuse cases, who have been dealing with the seminaries, bringing lawsuits against this, the actual hierarchy, right? And Patrick, after Diabolical came out, invited Milo on his show. Now, this is enormous, because remember, I started this little monologue talking about when Milo was deplatformed in February 20th, 2017. Oh, yes, and I still didn't say what I said. You spineless cunts. To the conservatives who had watched Milo do his campus tour, champion babies in the womb, right? No more dead babies. Champion us who wanted people to have families and children. Championing them. And when he got deplatformed on that day, where were they?
Crickets.
And he had said this in one of his talks, his Albuquerque talk, about, you Republicans, you don't stand up when people who have been on the front lines are come after. And so Rod Dreher picked that up, and it ran, and everybody knows that I said that, right? Oh my God, she's like, how rude is she? All right, so no, this is literally like, you say one thing and that's the only thing anybody's ever going to remember. Now I've said it on our stream, and they'll pick it up and spread it around. Look, she talks like that.
It's all right. You got the excuse. You're talking to me. She's talking to a convict. It's all right.
That's true. In Australia and England, it doesn't mean quite the same thing as it does in the United States, so it's not quite as rude. But I was so angry, obviously, on that day, February 20th, 2017, and nobody would have Milo on after that until Patrick. These guys are warriors, absolute warriors. And Patrick had Milo on his stream and said, "Why are you gay? Haven't you stopped? Why don't you come to Christ?" And because Patrick had the courage to have Milo on his stream, then Michael Voris had him on. And then Eric Metaxas had him on. And then suddenly Milo was able to speak again. And he was there on censored.tv with Gavin. And he was doing this show that we are now talking about on censored.tv, the Friday Night's All Right. And we were going to be warriors together, right? We were going to bring Owen in to this tribe of warriors who had been standing up against the lies and the deceit and the name calling. I was really proud to be there. I'm sorry, I went places I didn't plan to go.
It's real. This is the reality of what you've all been doing in fighting the media Kraken. It's not a picnic.
It's not a picnic. And you have to be cheerful. I've done, I don't know how many streams I've done. I'm not quite as brave as E. Michael Jones in terms of how many people's streams I will go on. And I don't have the actual business platform that Patrick does. One of the fun things I learned about Patrick because of this intervention stream was he does card tricks. How cool is that, right? It's like he does like close in. I did my tarot stream and we talked about cards, and he could do also number tricks and things like that. So it came up. Of course it comes up because Milo knows these things. It's going to come up. He's a magician. It's a hand skill. It's finesse.
You have an assembled cast of the planet's most infamous and notorious Catholic warriors that suddenly joined this punk situation. Okay,
it was a punk situation. Yeah, exactly. And it was okay. You've been punked. Oh, like.
That sounds like a piece of cake compared to the 2017.
Well, indeed, and indeed, through everything that we've been going through, right? It's like we all have things that we're still struggling with. I mean, I think, in fact, there are things I know about my friends and things I don't know about my friends. Everybody knows what Milo has struggled through, right? It was soon after this that he went through his ring in the sea and started his sodomy clock, saying, I'm not going to do that anymore. In fact, I've lost my chronology on everything. I think this was I did a number of episodes with him in this 2021 season, and we talked about Yeats's poem, and I went to New Jersey and we did another one about prayer, and then we did this one, and he started his sodomy clock in summer 2020, and I was there for the statues episode. But he didn't make it big in public until around now, right? This intervention was actually after the throwing his ring in the ocean. He'd been, praying and we've seen, we've seen in his telegram, he's also done things like actual penitential, physical penance to help prevent the sin. And yes. I'm so proud of him. He's done so much. He's right now posting on social media about being with David Daleiden, who was his godfather, like literally, for his confirmation last summer in Detroit. I got to meet David Daleiden. Oh my gosh, okay. We'll never get to the scriptures if I start talking about David Daleiden. David Daleiden is the one who made Dobbs versus Jackson happen. He's the one who saved the babies because he did those. Talking about Project Veritas, David did the undercover Planned Parenthood videos that showed that they were selling baby parts, and he's still out there for his Center for Medical Progress. We've sent him a copy of Centers and Gains. Oh yes, he's out there with the Center for Medical Progress, going up against universities who do medical research with embryos, aborted fetuses. Right, so. Milo and David are now having dinner in an Italian restaurant or something. I don't know. They were tweeting it, right? Okay, so
appropriate for a godfather.
Appropriate for his, say my wayward godson, right? It's so okay. So this is our crew, right?